Welcome to Witches of Workshop, a writing community podcast. I'm Lauren.
I'm Caroline, and this is where we brew better stories together. So if you want to be critiqued on the podcast, just send 1 to 10 pages and a synopsis to witchesofworkshop@gmail.com. Without further ado, let's get started.
Well, welcome back. So if you joined us last week, you'll know what's coming. And if you didn't, you should actually probably go listen to last week's.
Listen, you're going to want that context. Because we still got Aileen Martinez and Sally Hamilton, the Tom and Zendaya of the author world, if you didn't know.
Yeah. And so we had such a rip-roaring good time with them that we had so much good info that we wanted to push out to you guys. So we decided, instead of giving you, a Christopher Nolan epic, we would break it up and have 2 episodes.
Yeah, because we just couldn't cut anything out. It was all such nuggety goodness.
So much juicy drama.
So yeah, we're going to jump right into it.
So, without further ado, part 2.
Alex and Sally.
Okay, we have some hot takes. And we scoured the interwebs for them.
Oh boy.
And we're going to start with one that's actually a reading hot take that has taken Instagram and TikTok by storm. So Taylor Just Reads on Instagram and TikTok, was it both? Mm-hmm. She wait, is this the one that responded to it?
Yeah, she
okay, so there's a stitch with it.
Yeah.
So there's this woman that has basically gone on the interwebs and claimed that reading 100 books in a year isn't reading. It's just consuming. She does this really bizarre thing where she compares it to McDonald's to eating a steak, which I still couldn't find the logic string that she was trying to find there.
I guess fast food.
Yes, like enjoying it.
Yeah.
So basically,
you can eat a steak in about the same time as you eat a hamburger.
Well,
You already just mentioned
so she said that basically she said that every 3 days you'd have to read a book to keep up that. And basically she was saying that that is just there's no way you remember it. There's no way you remember even the books that you read. So thoughts on that? Is that a valid argument? And
how much do y'all read?
Okay. So here's my thing.
Get into it.
Do you guys remember in the 7th grade the accelerating reading test where you had to read a book and then you had to go into the little computer lab and answer the 10 questions and everybody had the Gulliver's Travels books memorized answers because it was a 40-point anyway, there was a controversy at my middle school. People are trying to get that pizza party. Anyway, I think for me it is the difference between watching a TV show, an episode every few days, and so that you can digest and sleep on it, or shotgunning the entire series in a one sitting. How much are you going to remember? I don't know, but I think you should take I think adults should take tests after books.
This isn't
that way they know
that you get accreditation.
And you get accreditation.
Right. How many books do you estimate you read in a year?
Oh, I read comic books, so a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
But comic books, they're 32 pages. That's my attention span.
So this isn't new, by the way. There's always been people who the way I could put it, I used to go to cons. I mean, I still go to cons, but there would be people who I read 100 books a year, 250 books a year. And I'm like, well, you're just guzzling.
Yeah.
Now, everyone's different, right? Some people read faster, absorb faster. So I'm not going to say you're doing it wrong. Nobody's wrong. Do what you want, man. But I do think there is a weird thing. If somebody reads fast because they just like it, cool. But there are people who read fast because they're like, look how much I did.
Yeah.
And that's the difference, right? Because I think you can, I think ultimately we forget most things about stories anyway. I mean, you only remember bits and pieces, unless you're trying to memorize, unless there's one book you read all the time, you're going to forget stuff. It's not, what's the quote? It's at the end, they don't remember what happened in your book. They remember how it makes them feel.
Yeah.
So I do think, when somebody gets excited about reading a lot because they like reading, cool. When somebody feels like it's because they're doing a check mark thing, it is bad. I don't think it, and it's going to be different, right? Some people just are going to absorb better. Some people are going to absorb easier. I have no problem with somebody's well, I just absorb really quickly and I like the stories and I want to move on, and that's my hobby. I don't read nearly as much as I should because I'm not a nerd. And
he's a nerd.
You're a nerd with a capital N.
Yeah.
Trademark.
No. Since I'm a writer, since I'm a successful writer, successful-ish writer, I'm eccentric. That's the difference.
He has
Yeah.
like 800 board games.
That's
So
it counts. I'll take it. So I do think that's my thing. I don't tell anybody how to do it, but I do think there's a tendency. I haven't run into it a lot, but where this idea, look at all the things that I've done, and but it's sort of the same as you can draw 1 million drawings in a year. It doesn't necessarily mean you put the time into them, enjoy them, but maybe you do. So I don't have a solid answer there, but I do believe I worry when people are trying to
just read as
guzzle.
much as possible.
Well,
Yeah.
and I think social media has made it so that it's like it's all a book a day's content now. And so,
Right. Yeah.
so that I might take a little umbrage with, but I think in general, I mean, like, look at Danhoff can read a gazillion. There was a year that I read
She's built different.
150 books,
They're
and
built different.
to be fair, I wasn't doing anything else.
Yeah.
That was your full-time job, basically.
But it was also, I mean, COVID, I was just like, no,
Yeah.
I need to escape.
Oh yeah, circumstances.
Yeah.
So I think that but I think judging or policing how somebody reads is just
Yeah. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
I'm not a fast reader. Like, I think I read like between audiobook and reading 20 to 30 books a year.
Yeah.
Like, which compared to people in workshop does not feel like a lot, but I'm like, that's just the pace that I'm
Yeah.
able to go at.
To enjoy them and
To
absorb
enjoy it.
them.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit of a recovering reading addict because when I was younger, I didn't have friends. I wasn't cool then.
I don't believe that you weren't.
So,
I
well,
believe everyone else wasn't cool enough to be friends with you.
maybe. That's what my mom told
I was
me.
like, that's what I told myself. So,
So I'd read and read, and like I would stay up too late reading is the main problem. Like literally, my mom would turn off the light, and I'd be like neat, and I had a little night light by my bed, and I'd just
Yes.
flop over the side and read by the light of the light of a night light.
Yes.
would you read out loud to yourself?
No, never. Out
Oh my
loud.
gosh. I
Well,
was my own audiobook.
I shared a room with my sister, so I would just
No,
turn over to the
I
side
didn't
and
wanna
I
get
would just
caught.
like,
I would sit, no shame, in the living room, book open, reading aloud.
Oh Lord.
Nobody. I'm like, hope y'all enjoy
I
it.
hope you're enjoying it. The universe is recording me. This is secretly the Truman Show, and I'm entertaining everyone.
Main character syndrome.
Mhm.
What did I say?
So,
That was-
but when I grew up and got like a job, and I had to get up at 7:00 in the morning, and I didn't make. I was so bad. I was so bad because I'd be like, okay, I'm done with this. How many pages left? 4th page, and I read it, and I'd be like, okay, I'm going to close the book. Except, how short is the next chapter?
oh my gosh, I still do this.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that feature
So-
in Kindle. That's like 3 minutes left of this chapter. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll finish it.
Okay, I guess I'll
10 minutes
finish
left
it.
of the next chapter. I'm like,
Okay, I guess
fine.
I'll read that, and then you're like, I'm gonna go to bed. Doesn't matter how good a cliffhanger it is. Wait, I'm just gonna read the
That's why
first.
I love short chapters.
I'm just gonna read the first sentence of the next chapter, and it's 25 minutes later. And I'm like, God damn it! So like, I had to stop reading big books because of that. Like, what I liked about comic books is they're 32 pages, and it's over. I have to wait a month to get the next issue, unless it's a graphic novel, and then I'm reading the whole thing because, I'm a reading addict, I guess. Recovering
Nerd.
nerd.
Capital N.
There's also the thing now where like there's book fluencers whose whole job is basically like is to read and
Mhm.
talk
Yeah.
about the books they reading, and I feel like that's maybe set a different precedence.
Oh,
Well, but
yeah,
that's-
yeah.
that's
Reading
different.
100 to 200 books,
But to be fair, that's their job. I mean, it's.
but like
There's a
also
lot of
media
that.
things you look at it and you think like, well, that should be me.
I
can
know
do
it's a
that.
weird. It's a
'Cause I
weird
found
thing.
that about myself, and I've been like, why am I turning this pleasureful thing into?
Right. It becomes, why am I doing, why is this a job? I mean, because there is like, board games, there's like people who play like Magic the Gathering, and there's a whole ranking system. And there's so many people, I'm just like, man, you're working really hard at this game that you're going to never be, top ranked player. But it's just like, and so it's the same way. It's weird when someone's like, oh, I read, 150 books. Well, that's your job. And someone's like, I'm going to do it too. Why? It's not your job. Relax.
Well,
What you want to
this
do.
talks a lot about the pressure of reading that we've been talking about, because you have these book fluencers, you have these people.
Yeah.
But then to your point last week that I keep thinking about is like all of our TBRs start to look the same because all these people
Yeah.
aren't reading
Yeah.
new and exciting and indie books or like finding these unknown authors. It's all the same.
Everybody talk about the same thing.
people.
Yeah.
And so that is something too. But
I mean, the pros and cons of a monoculture. It's nice to be able to talk to somebody about the same book,
but
also we're all just reading the same book.
Well, the internet has that problem big time, where as an author, I'm constantly struggling with that. I've been doing this 20 years, but like if you go to Amazon and you're looking for science fiction fantasy, you find Brandon Sanderson. And then if you read a Brandon Sanderson book and you're like, I liked it, the algorithm goes, Have you read Brandon Sanderson?
More.
And
Brandon
so, and
Sanderson.
the internet's full of that, right? Like the people talk about like the same things. And it's not that, I mean, we don't have really a monoculture like we used to when we only had like 3 networks. But we still have this thing where, again, I personally, as an author, I've been doing this for 20-ish years, and I still, like, when I see a Reddit thread and it's recommend me a book, it's the same 5 books that have been recommended since the beginning of time. And you're like, man, I just don't know why we needed that.
Have you heard of this new guy, Isaac Asimov?
Yeah, have you heard of? It's a joke. It's like, hey, I'm looking for fantasy. Have you heard of Lord of the Rings? Yes, I've heard of it. Thank you.
Think I have.
So
I did watch the extended edition of Fellowship the other night.
Sure, it's good.
Just for funsies.
It's fine, but I'm just saying you don't need those recommendations.
Nobody does. Nobody does.
And so it's the same way. Like
Tolkien's doing all right.
yeah. But I think that's just it's the struggle we always have, and it's not just media. It's just for us, especially because we're trying to get noticed. But it's just the internet's talking about the same 5 things, and it's all the things that don't need to be talked about. But whatever.
Yeah. Okay. I'm especially excited for this next one because I think we talk about this in workshop too. But recently, it's been a big thing online because of the bookfluencers. Likable protagonists. Okay, talk about the likability of a protagonist. Do you think it matters? Why do people get hung up on this? Why is this like a critique that comes up? Does it matter? Do you care? What's the situation?
All right. So my hot take on this is that when people say likable protagonist, they make the mistake of thinking a nice character or a good character or a character who has their act together. What they really mean, I'm just saying this, is somebody I want to hang out with.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean it does have to be a good person. It doesn't mean it has to be a bad person. It doesn't mean it's like, and really that just comes down to the number one thing I always talk about writing, which is this moment, is this scene, is this element worth my time? And I think I said this before. I don't know if I said on this podcast last time I was here, but I was like, writing is all, are we allowed to swear?
Sure.
Writing is all bullshit. It's all made up. Surprise. I made it all up. And so you're doing a performance. Writing is weird. It's a telepathic performance. I'm putting all my thoughts on the page and then sending them through time. And then, you find it and you get those thoughts. So I think what you can't do, I mean, we do as writers, but I think we shouldn't do, is mistake the story for reality. It is not a real thing. It is a performance. And while it means it has to have certain things, I mean, otherwise you break the performance. I often call it like a magic show, right? If you have a magician who says, behold, oh, don't look over there. No, don't look over there. Well, that's not a good magician. A good magician is directing you the whole time, and you're like, well, I could have looked anywhere. No, you couldn't have. You really looking over here. And so as writers, we have to do that too. Like, this character is real. This character is fun. You like them. Not really. You don't care. You just enjoy the experience. And so I think sometimes when people get annoyed with writing, they'll say something like, well, I just didn't like the character. And what they're really saying to me is, I didn't like this experience.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, half my characters are hapless idiots. And I think hapless idiots are really generally hard to write. I think people don't like hapless idiots. They think they do. But almost the worst thing you can do with a character is be kind of dumb. But I get away with it because I'm so good. No.
Because it's funny.
Because it's a fun experience. It's an interesting experience. They're also the right character for the right situation. And I think sometimes when we talk about likability, people are like, well, they have dreams and they're really nice. Or more importantly, they're edgy because they're cynical. But then it's like, is it a fun experience? This is just a tool in my toolbox to give the reader a fun experience. So that's what I'll stand by.
Like my current work in progress, Caroline was in my critique room a couple of weeks ago, and I like writing mean, sarcastic characters.
Yeah.
And I had to pull back on that a little bit. But Caroline gave me the nicest critique I've ever gotten, which is like, ooh, she thinks mean things like me.
That's great though.
We're relatable.
Yeah.
Right.
But unfortunately,
You didn't go, you went, yeah.
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 Relatable.
Yes.
So, and the other thing is this last week we had a critique. We have a author in our group, and he's kind of starting out, but he knows what he's about. And he wrote a really good scene, but he gave all the good lines to the secondary character and not the main character. So that was kind of the critique, was just like, well, I liked your secondary character way more than the main character. And it's like, you got to give him some quips, man. It's like comic books, Spider-Man's got to get some quips. The bad guys can have quips with if it's the entire book is Craven dunking on Peter Parker and Peter Parker doesn't say anything funny. Good job, Craven. Like,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You've not misdirected.
This tracks because this stupid book, what I won't name the name of, that we talked about on one of our recent episodes, like has an extremely, as you would say, and I think actually is like unlikable character, because I almost DNF'd this book because I was like, I'm not enjoying my experience.
Oh, yeah.
But because it was for book club, I was like, I must finish and get it. And the only parts where I was like, okay, this is where you're getting away with it, is like when she would have certain mean internals about other people that were like petty. But like a lot of it was like too mean, or just like too
Right, is that line. It's that line.
But there were some parts where it was like more like your tone of that, where I was like, that's a relatable kind of thing we'd all think but not say out loud.
Right.
But when she was like that times 100 the whole book.
Oh, that's a lot. It's too intense.
That's a lot too. You got to pace yourself properly.
Yeah. And then there was no relief too.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's ups and downs too. There's other elements too. But I don't think people think about those elements. So they don't know when they're writing that they're not. Even when they're reading, they don't know it. I mean, well, you should. It's not your job as a reader to know these things. It's my job as a writer to understand these things and guide you without you realizing it.
Yeah.
I'd started something that you heard the first chapter of, and you cautioned me because you were like, I think being in her head a lot is going to be really hard for readers. And it's so funny because my best friend was like, I think this is going to be hard for you mentally. Like, I think you are going to have a hard time writing somebody this awful for a whole book. Like, you're going to have a hard time. And so it was like, it is going to be like, that's a lot of like brain space to try to balance being enjoyable and fun for people, but also keeping this person, because I think it can be done, but I think it is a very strange.
It's a difficult project, and and it's not. Are you ready to do that to yourself?
Yeah.
Well, got distracted with the entertaining.
I know, and then apparently, I think I was too emotionally close to the situation. So I took a few steps away and said, maybe later, maybe after my trauma has been healed, I will try to write to her. We will see.
But really quick, before we go to the next thing, I will say, Alex, that literally when I was listening to Gil's All-Fright Diner, I was thinking, like, this is so whack and, like, not something I would normally, like, enjoy, because these guys are stupid and, like, weird. But you distracted me with how entertaining.
Earl's kind of stupid. I think Duke's pretty smart. He's just quiet.
Sure.
He's just quiet.
I mean, I was there for Loretta, so.
Yeah, but like the first like chapter was like where they're like driving in the car or whatever. I was like,
no, that's like when I wrote that book, like almost always my books, I start with some small. So that scene was literally, I was like, I have a vampire. I'm going to put him in the car. And I'm like, I don't know. They're just driving down the road. And then I was just like, well, he needs to talk to somebody. Okay, I'll just put like a guy next. It's classic, right? It's just classic mix of personalities. One guy's insecure and talks a lot. One guy's quiet and, confident. And it's just immediately I just started this conversation where Earl's yelling at Duke, and Duke's just like, yep. He's like, oh, you don't know. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any gas? We got enough. It's on E. Yeah, it's fine. And it's just this fun moment and there's lots of little props I'm using and all that. And that's kind of the start of the book. And that's the whole relationship. And the whole relationship just started because I wanted something interesting between these two characters and how they could interact with each other. And Earl's he's got a lot of issues. He's not a cool vampire, and he knows it, and it really bothers him. But like, I've written other books where it's like the characters aren't always hapless, but I always like, is this going to be an interesting interaction? Is this an interesting environment? Is this an interesting, I know my thing, I'm this broken record, but I hate thinking in books. I don't hate thinking in books, but I hate that so often when people write, they go, let me explain everything to you. And they're like, or you could friggin' do something interesting. And so all my writing is like that. Every book starts with that, where I was like, here's a character. What are they doing that's interesting? Okay, this will lead to the rest of the story.
It's never going to be just two nice people talking.
I'm not going to name names, but this week at the workshop, I know we keep you guys. So I've been watching the podcast, and I'm glad this took off. That phrase, the phrase about too nice. But every time, I didn't even say it because I didn't want to be a cliche. But every time this week, I was like, it's just two nice people talking.
I think you got to keep bringing that one up.
I think it's a great one.
Well, I will say this: it's
helpful.
very helpful, and it's interesting to because sometimes you do have two nice people talking, and it's like, okay, so how do we
What do we do to make
what
this
are we going to
interesting?
do? And whether it's an internal from, I'm a first person girl. So whether it's an internal that's like, oh, this conversation is not exactly as it seems, or whether it's funnier, whether it's this, whether it's that, whether the situation I've put them in is absurd. So it's like, it's valid. Sure. Fine.
That was great. Let's keep this going.
Okay, I like this one as somebody who does not do this at all. For writers, does reading craft books just make writing more formulaic, or are there like good tools? And this is inspired by a TikTok by Simon & Schuster.
Yeah, I forget which author they interviewed, but they literally like asked some of their published authors, like, what do you think? And this one lady, and it was so funny because I was scrolling through and this one author, she says, I think it makes it more formulaic. The next author I go to, he's like, my biggest tip is like, read some craft books. So they like couldn't disagree more. So yeah, what do you think? Hot take, get real.
I have never read a craft book on writing, and it is possible that is why it took 18 years to get a deal. However, I don't know. I like stories. I've been a reader for my whole life, so I have absorbed things, and so I do read. I just don't read craft books. But coming to the writer's workshop has helped me out a lot because we talk about writing all the time. Alex and I talk about writing all the time. Like even when we're not at writer's workshop, we'll watch a show and
that's all we talk about.
That's all we talk about. That's our entire relationship.
That's right.
That's
It's
the only
all
reason that we're together.
Two super cool, awesome writers.
And we have 5 cats. So, you know.
It's like, how are the cats? How's your book?
I have access to writing books, and I've had people always recommend Save the Cat, and I'm like,
just go thanks.
No, I go, oh, thanks, and then I'm like, I get this. Like I'll flip through. I get this. So I don't. Again,
You already understand that.
well, I understand.
Probably after 18 years of going to workshops.
Literally.
I don't know. Some people are going. I've known some people going to workshop. I don't, but I'm not going to name names again. I'm not.
I think it depends on how receptive you are and how if you understand story or if you can understand a story.
Yeah.
Like some people just are not.
Well, I think it also
wired.
comes to like inherent gifts, right? Because I've always I'm with you. I've never read a crap book. I started to read Story Genius. I thought it was, hey, there's some good things, and then I was like, no thanks, not for me. And it's not because the information is not valid, but it's because I am a consumer of media.
Mm-hmm.
Give me books, give me movies, give me those things. And so I think the beats have always seemed more or less like, oh, I know how I know how this goes.
And I think it's important for people to ask, like, why did I enjoy this? Why did I not enjoy this?
Yes.
Again, but that's the writer critique thing or the artist critique thing.
But do you okay, for example, though, people who don't stay till the end of a movie, my husband and I, since we were 16 years old going to see movies together, at the end of the movie, we're like, okay, so what did you think about this?
Uh-huh.
And and we are deconstructing a story. Since I was a kid, like that's just how I've enjoyed my media. And even a movie I love, I'm like, ugh, but why was the pacing so slow here? And then why did they do this? And and that is just how, that's how we talk. So I think that's different than somebody who maybe is stronger at plot because that's where they focus all of their opinion and that's where they see it. But then they're not quite sure the beats and the percentages and the things. And that's where I guess writing books can help lay that out.
So it's like, I mean, it's my sort of generic advice. If it works for you, that's great. It can help you. If it doesn't, I think when we talk about it is the pitfall of reading. I haven't read any. I learned on the streets.
You haven't read any
craft books. Oh my God. The closest I get is I read a book called Made to Stick, which is really about making ideas stick, and it's not really about writing, but it's really great. I recommend it.
He loves Made to
Stick. Made to Stick. It's one of my. I haven't, but I do think so. The thing with a craft book is it's great. A lot of these things can be very useful. These tips can be really useful. These are good, because at the end of the day, you're learning how to deconstruct and understand a story in a way that, again, I mean, as writers, as artists, I'm gonna sort of paraphrase Taylor Swift here, but I was like, we have to approach it differently. We have to feel it differently than the consumer. I mean, it's different. And so getting these tools, they'll say, hey, here's a good practice. Here's a good thing to understand about story. That's all great. The problem is when you think that because you've memorized these rules, you've created a good story. And that's not true either. As much as Save the Cat talks about it, like again, the example comes from, Superman, I believe, right? With Superman, opening scene, we first see him, he saves the cat. But it's like, why is that scene good? Sure, he saves the cat. It's nice. But Christopher Reeve is charismatic. The little girl and him interacting in a really wholesome, pure way. It's the thesis of the movie that Superman is a nice person who will take the time to help with the cat and even is empathic to the girl. Like, this is all really important. It's not just that Superman saved a cat. And so that's where you run into those things. People say like, oh, look, I did the story arc. Yeah, but who cares? I don't care. They went from not confident to confident. Yeah, and it was boring the whole way. Who cares? So writing books are great. Draft books are great. But at the end of the day, following these formulas and these ideas are good practices, but they don't create a good book by default. And that's where I think the runs into it.
So in all of y'all's years of going to workshop, have you noticed like if people who absorb a lot of craft material write more formulaically, or does it really depend person to person?
It depends on the person, because I'm sure some do and I don't notice. Now, what I will notice, and Sally will back me up on this, is you can tell when someone's been reading a lot of craft books because they start thinking in those terms. Like their critique sort of becomes the same.
Yeah.
Like they'll be like, well, you should have more
You
arc.
can tell what book they just
You
read.
can read,
because
yeah.
It's their critique for literally every read.
Yeah, and that's normal. That's part of you as you absorb it.
Yeah, it's just learning.
But some people do get stuck on it.
Yeah.
And then they'll always, for the rest of their lives, be like, you need to have X.
You have too many was's. I counted 40 was's, and I couldn't even listen to the rest of the book, the story, because of the number of was's.
My favorite is, I didn't know what the character's motivation was in this scene for the larger story. I'm like, they want to get a sandwich at this point. It's all right, guys. It's the beginning of the book. We don't need to establish everything. I would like to know their larger motivation. Right now, the story's just starting. We're fine. It's all right. Relax.
Sometimes I wish that in the read rooms, you could have a little whiteboard that just like has like the 5 critiques where we're like, we get it, no need to do this. Like the was this one, we could thinking, no need to say it.
Yeah, we got
it. No need to say it.
Yeah.
Or you can just raise your hand and go, number 1.
I'll throw a little devil's advocate out there for the listeners, because I think I'm in the minority where like I feel like, I don't know if I would say I feel like I need them. Maybe I feel like I need them. I don't know. I'm not at a point in my writing proficiency where I feel like I understand story great.
Sure, they can be very helpful with that.
So I do dabble. I dabble in the craft books. I dabble in, and also just like thinking about what you're consuming and whatever. But like, that's not one of my writing strengths at this point in time where I'm like, oh yeah, I know like when these things should happen.
I'm going to say I feel like the other, if you want to read craft books to learn how to write, awesome. If you want to read art books to learn how to draw, awesome. Like, but at the end of the day, I think there are some people who read craft books to learn how to write and then they never write.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Well, yeah, that's also
Yeah, and I think also thinking that, like, the same reason plotting versus pantsing, I think, is that when you see, and maybe I have a very ADHD all or nothing brain, right? So like I see something and it's like, oh, I'm all in. So like when I see my plot written down, when I read the craft book, I then think, well, it has to be like
but
this.
These don't
because I'm so rigid. And so for me, I think the whole point is making sure that you still feel free enough after reading these books that help you along to do the great, crazy thing. Like, do you know what I mean? Like the vibes. You're always talking about the vibes. And you're like, well, should I be doing this? I'm like, no. Let us enjoy what we're in right now. So sometimes I think that's where I see the hang.
That's again, I talk about the thinking problem, but a lot of times with thinking, it really is funny to me in the books because it will be like, they'll do something, oh, this is the moment of the character's like dark moment. And then they'll go, I should explain that this is the character's dark moment. And you're like, no, you got it, understood, you did it well. You understood the craft book you were copying, you did your own voice. And then you were just like, but let me make sure you understand that I did my work. It would be like, in books, a lot of times they'll be like, well, see how Superman saved that cat? See how I did that? So I think that's also something you got to kind of, you get used to of dealing with.
Interesting.
Speaking of craft books and these things that are like commonly swirled around, writing every day, what do you think about it?
I mean, I should do it, but I don't.
Ditto.
Say more.
Okay, so when I'm in a writing fugue state, or like if I say the writers' conference is coming up in like 3 months, and I'm like, I got to finish this book because I'm going to pitch it. Because I have pitched unfinished books before, and then they're like, send it to me, and I'm like, okay, and then I don't because it's not finished. And then when I do finish, it's like a year later, and I feel weird sending it. And that
Don't feel weird.
Don't feel weird.
Should send it.
You
They
should send
expect it.
They
The
don't.
worst that happens is they'll just tell you no.
Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, what I like about the writers' workshop or any writing group, I think one of the strengths of this one is that we meet literally every week, and it's nice to have a little deadline where because you can knock out 10, 12 pages in a week. You can knock out 8 pages in a week, 5 pages in a week. Like, you don't have to read for the entire time.
You do not have to
In
read
fact,
for the
please
entire time.
You do not.
Please
Please
stop
don't run out the
reading
clock.
15 minutes is
for
not a
the
challenge.
entire time.
Yeah.
I will say that, again, in the 18 or so years I've been coming to the writers' workshop, I have met some people who are incredibly literal, and they will pick up in the middle of a sentence where they stopped at the last time, and they'll read until they get called at the 15-minute mark. It's in the middle of a sentence, and they will drop it off.
And then they mark it,
And then they mark it, and they
Yeah.
bring it back the next
Okay.
week.
So, but going back to the writing every day, I don't think you need to write every day, but you need to write consistently.
Yeah.
And now that's different for everybody. Like, the best way I can put it is I was watching an essay, a video, a professor talking years ago, and he's talking about procrastination. And he said, a lot of people procrastinate. And he goes, they'll say to me, the students, they'll go like, well, I'm just going to do all of it like my term paper at the end of the week. It's like the week before. And he goes, have you done that before? And they'll go, yeah. He goes, okay, that's the way you do it. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But then he'll say, have you done that before? And they go, no. He goes, that's not how you do it.
How you do
So
it.
So you have to pay attention to yourself
Yeah.
and what you're doing. For me, I tend to, again, I'm falling behind. I tend to fall behind, but workshop's a good example. I like for the longest I've been coming to workshop, I kind of developed this habit of, don't write Thursday, don't write Friday, don't write Saturday, don't write Sunday. I write a little bit Monday. Oh, Tuesday, I should write a little bit more. And then Wednesday, I cram it all in.
Honestly, kind of same.
So, right. Now, but the key thing about that is it's nice, right? It's a nice deadline that I can see coming. And that's what you need because you're writing, you're your own boss. And the problem with that is unless you're paying attention, you can lose a lot of time. And so you got to find a consistent way of measuring your results. And so writing every day is easier generally if you can do it because at least you know you did it. I did it. I wrote 10 minutes. Doesn't matter. You stay in that habit.
Right.
But if you find a different one where it's like, again, nobody cares at the end of the day of how you wrote it and how long. I say it's like if you have to cover yourself in chicken grease and then pray under the full moon, and once a year you do it and you wake up the next morning with a whole book and everyone loves it, nobody cares that you did that.
Is that what?
But that's not usually how
like chicken
that's
grease?
why it sounds like chicken grease. But like, so
Moon's coming. Watch out.
right. And so I think that what happens is find a consistency, and if you're not and measure in some way that's consistent. Again, don't always beat yourself up if you don't meet that goal, but find a consistency that you can make it work, because that's all that matters. I mean, some people really do. Everyone's schedule is different. Everybody's life is different. Everybody's brain is different. And you just gotta figure out what's working for you. I'd say this a lot, but it's like pay attention to you.
Yeah.
Pay attention to, because even when you find something that works, it'll change.
Yeah.
And so I think that's it. And the only reason I I like to write consistently. I don't like to write every day because again, it can make someone can write like 6 days and they'll be like, 7th day comes by and they're like, oh, I guess I'm a failure. And then you just got in your head.
And then it creates this dread. Yeah. I'm similar. I tend to write the most Monday through Wednesday because we write on Monday nights and set a timer.
Yeah.
And now I have my internal clock that can do 1,000 words in our hour. And then because I want y'all to read it, it's another deadline to get me there. But when I've tried to write every day and if you have a bad writing day, then I'm dreading the next morning or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get up before work and I'm going to write, but I'm yesterday didn't go well. Now I'm I have these negative neural pathways associated with writing and I don't want that. I want it to
you framed your successes as failures. It feels like you did it, but you're like, I didn't do it right.
Also, I'm of the opinion that I think thinking about writing can also count.
Depending on the situation.
You've seen the picture on Instagram of the guy just it's the Ben Affleck with the coffee and he's just oh.
Yeah.
And it's writers when they have uninterrupted time. Why is it sometimes when you have the time, you're like, I can think of nothing. But
Mhm.
all you're doing is just staring off into this, like,
Thinking about your
thinking
book.
about
Or
it.
sometimes I'm thinking about other people's books. Like I'll text Lauren or Beck or someone. I was like, I was doing the dishes and I think you should do this.
Literally,
Like, I don't.
my hair brushing.
Hairbrushing.
I was brushing my hair and I had an idea for Becca's book and I was like, huh. So I was like, whilst I was doing my hair brushing, I think it was you. So I
would love to get a text from you that says, whilst I was doing my hair brushing, I had an idea for your book.
Let's talk. I get my Hermione hair and it's really,
Thoughts come to mind, but I like never write on Thursdays or Fridays either, especially if I read on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
I'm usually just thinking
gotta-
about what people.
Yeah, you give yourself some time to absorb too.
Yeah, and I'm like, whereas if I immediately, like, I think probably when I first started, I'd be like, well, now it's time on Thursday morning to sit down and implement what people said. And maybe sometimes I'm like, sure, I already know, but a lot of the time I'm like, I need to chew on that.
Yeah.
And think
Yeah.
about what they said.
Yeah, it happens all the time where you get a critique. You're like, I don't like that critique. You're wrong, but you write it down anyway because you write down everything because you're polite. And then you wake up in the middle of the night and you go, damn it, they were right. They were right, and that's why I'm mad.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or then you let yourself just like watch a movie or read a book, and then it gives you an idea for your thing.
Yeah. Well, that's why you've been helping people with their books and thinking about things because you're like, oh, I can do that, or this helps to knock something loose. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean,
I like that.
the artist fugue state is real though.
It is.
where you stare off into space and your brain is suddenly like you're thinking about your story, and that counts. I think it does count. Now you have to write it eventually, but because
Well, the labor, if you don't write it down, nothing matters.
Yeah, it doesn't
I mean,
matter.
that's I've been doing this so long that I just write stories automatically. Like if I'm sitting down, I do. Like if I go for a walk and I'm not looking at my phone, I'm just writing a story. But again, who cares if I don't write it down?
You know, right?
Who cares, right?
People act like the idea is the hard part. It is not. You are not a writer.
It's the labor.
The idea is the hard part.
Every time you've read, hey, I'm going to swear again, a shitty book, it's because somebody did the labor. And every time you have a great book that you haven't written down, it's because you haven't done the labor. And who cares? I mean, who cares? I mean, even at the workshop, there's writers that I think are pretty weak, but they finish and they get stuff done. They send it out, and I'm like, and they can get published and they can do well. And it's because they did the part that's the most important part. Like that's why finishing. Writing
finishing.
a crappy, cliched, uninteresting book, as much as I talk about like all those things you should do, it still has a better chance that it has 100,000 times better chance than the book that it was never written.
That is what Kate Cornell says. That's her only piece of writing advice. She goes, finish it.
Yeah.
Finish it.
Finish it.
I don't care about all this stuff. Finish it.
Sit in that chair at some point, even covered in chicken grease, and write.
Just mental image.
This is why
Okay.
we have 5 cats.
I have another question. I'm skipping ahead because I think oh yes. We've been talking for a
Look,
long time.
The more guests you have, the more chances
That's
you
true.
have of us chit-chatting. So.
Yes, well,
You know?
for sure. Okay.
Tangent.
So there was a little skirmish on the interwebs.
Oh, okay.
Because an author, and I do believe nonfiction, yes?
I that sounds right.
I believe
It was
it's nonfiction.
influencer.
Yeah. So this is an Instagram influencer who there was like this kind of discourse because she got some negative reviews that she was responding to.
No. Mm-mm.
So, is there ever a time when an author should respond to a negative book review? And obviously, we agree with whatever you're about to say. So go.
No, unless
No.
they're stupid.
Yeah.
Unless that person's stupid, you need to tell them they're stupid.
Like the author is stupid.
No,
No,
the
no.
person with the
Oh,
Yeah,
comment.
the critiquer is stupid.
People are stupid.
Everybody's stupid but you.
Time.
No,
Well, and this
no,
poor
yeah.
author, like again, because she's an.
And it's never
influencer.
worked, by the way. It has never worked. It happens every 3 months. This happens.
Okay.
Some writer on either Amazon or whatever starts responding to negative. And by the way, the reason it's so funny is a lot of times they might not even be that negative. They might be something like,
4 stars.
Like-
It was okay.
yeah, 3 stars. I liked it. Okay. You ruined my perfect 5-star rating. Don't you have any taste? And you're like, it's never going to help anybody. So, I mean, if you can't handle
never
that.
buy your book again. You've just lost.
And you can't, and also you can't browbeat somebody. You
Yeah.
can't browbeat somebody. If somebody comes up to you and goes, "Hey, I didn't like your food," you go, "Yes, you did." Hey, I didn't like you on that date. I didn't think you were very entertaining. No, you found me delightful. What are you talking about? That's such a weird argument.
Mhm, trying to correct people's
Right,
experiences.
right. Trying to create
Yeah.
an experience.
You're wrong. What?
But it was so obvious though to me, like when this author was responding, like, and I think people were flaming her in the comments, saying like, "Girl, let me hold your hand and explain to you that authors don't respond to negative reviews." And it seemed like she legitimately just didn't know that because she's not, necessarily a writer. She's like an influencer who got a book deal, and so she wasn't. So like, how would you explain to someone like, this is dumb. Like, don't do that.
Your book is not yours. Once it's out there, it's not yours. And I know that's tough. It's very frustrating. There are times, I've got negative reviews of my books, and some I'm like, okay, cool, I get that. And some I'm like, I don't know where you got that at all. I don't know why.
That's not in the book, but okay.
I don't feel, well, I can't say it's not in the book. It's in the book if they see it.
Yeah.
But my argument is that like, I don't agree with that interpretation, but it doesn't change the fact that I'm like, but I can't browbeat somebody into it. And so I do think, influencers kind of make sense to me a little bit because it's just about controlling your image. But the problem is once the book's out in the world, it's done. You certainly can talk about it. You can certainly express your feelings on it. You can even, I think, sometimes guide people by giving your thoughts. Here's my thought. But you can't make somebody like what you do. And you can't make, and again, people are going to dislike your book. I mean, I've got reviews on Amazon that are 1 star because the book arrived late in the mail.
That's what I was going to say. Some people don't understand how reviews work.
Right.
Like 3 stars. My dishwasher went off in the middle of my chapter and then I had to stop and unload it. I'm like, that's not.
So yeah, I think, but that's the hardest thing and it's art in general, right? You send it out in the world.
You can't say you're not there.
You're done and it's on its own.
So, and I mean, again, one of the ways we sort of train people at the workshop for this is like, you can't respond during critique, and a review is just a critique. That's all it is. So don't respond to it. You're not going to convince them. 90% of people read books and never leave reviews.
Mm-hmm.
So the guy that's leaving the review is motivated.
And honestly, as we talk about in workshop, negative reviews, positive reviews, it's a review.
It's a review.
Like,
the algorithm still likes it.
Yeah, the algorithm still likes it.
The guy who fully 1 star dunked on your book actually helped you.
I always make this argument, like, if you don't like something on the internet, generally, by the way, if you don't like something on the internet, don't talk about it.
Interact with
like if you, like they talk about, like if you dunk on somebody, you're just helping them. If you're like, hey, here's the thing I hate. This guy spent 20 minutes talking about racism and he's terrible. I'm going to show you. And you're like, you just gave him more. You just gave not just him more information. You made the internet talk about that more.
Yeah.
You platform that thought. You do that. So I'm like, to me, like, I don't downvote anything. I'll upvote things I like, and everything else I leave. I just don't touch.
I downvote things on Reddit.
That's valid.
Sure,
I'm the same on my Goodreads, like also because like, I want to get a book deal. I don't want any of these things coming back to me. So I really only rate if I loved it and it's like 5 stars. Otherwise I'm just like marked as read. No rating.
Moving on.
That's why you and I high five each other if we get a negative comment because we're like,
oh my gosh, we got so excited when somebody negative commented on the podcast. We're like,
interaction. The internet doesn't care.
Unless it's one of y'all's secrets.
But even when they're talking about like editors and things, like they're just like, well, we just want to see this many reviews. They don't say we want to see this many 5-star reviews.
Are people talking about it?
Interactions. Yeah, that's it.
That's all the algorithms. That's all the internet cares about.
So as me and Sally said earlier, if you see a negative comment, just give them a big old kiss and say,
thank you. You're paying attention to me.
We talk at the workshop. Like I always talk about, we do reviews for books. We try to encourage people to do that because it helps people out. And then I don't always say it, but I'm like, you can leave a bad review.
Yeah.
If you read my book and said I gave it a 1 star, I'd be like, thank you.
Thank you.
I don't care. You didn't like it? Cool. But thank you. Gave me a 1 star. That's better.
You paid attention.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's hard because we're like, oh, I don't want anybody bad. So it's fine. You don't have to do it. But I'm just saying, if you do it, you're still helping me out.
Yeah. It's tough out here. Well, this has been incredible. We can't wait for more. And you have bookish news happening later this year.
Yeah, my new book coming out in September.
Yeah. It has a title.
It's Unbearable. You can pre-order it on all the usual places. And then hopefully in another year.
Yeah.
We'll see.
There's things brewing with you.
Yes.
So do either of you have like websites, socials, something where people can keep up with when your bookish news happen? Anywhere? I know you're on.
Not yet. I should, because I want to be.
Yeah, you're gonna get your website built and all that.
Yeah. Okay.
I have my website aleemartinez.com, which I update sporadically with the short stories and just weird stuff.
Are you also on Blue Sky?
I'm on Blue Sky
TikTok?
I am on TikTok. Yeah. writer, Aileen Martinez?
I think so. Yeah.
And you can also email me at any time. Is it all right to email?
Yeah.
Hipster Cthulhu.
That's
standard spelling. CTHULHU@hotmail.com. You can email me if you want to tell me how great I am. I desperately need any approval I can get. But also, if you just have writing questions, I always love to answer anybody's writing questions. Those are the only things I know about. I guess I could also talk about Tarzan. So Tarzan questions, writing questions, and tell me how great I am. That's all I ask.
You're just on a Nightman podcast, so you can also talk about Nightman.
Talk about Nightman, which is dumb.
Wait, you're on TikTok, aren't you?
No,
she's not. You're on Instagram.
Okay,
I'm on it. Yeah,
you on something.
I am on Instagram, but I have a me account and I have an art account.
I mean, technically, my Blue Sky account gives more news about Sally than that she has right now.
But I don't have a writer account, so I'm probably
You need to get one.
We're
gonna have a little branding meeting.
Yes.
Awesome! I'm so excited for this.
With the right ladies.
Good. Yes.
This is why workshop. Get the right people around you.
Who needs a website? I've got you, darling.
Discuss. Well, we're so excited for both of you.
Yes.
And y'all's bookish news happening this year and next year, and hopefully all
Power
couple. Yes,
See?
we called y'all the Tom and Zendaya up.
Oh, I'm the Tom, right?
Right. I don't know. She's doing pretty good. So you might be the Zendaya.
Oh,
They're both doing good right now.
Power couple, stable, charming relationships.
Aw.
But thank you both so much.
Thanks for
being
coming.
here. Again.
Okay, I know.
Sure, it won't be the last time.
Yeah, they'll be back. Don't you worry.
But,
Okay.
Whether you like it or not.
Happy writing, y'all.
Happy writing, friends. Keep writing.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to Witches of Workshop. Be sure to find us every Wednesday on your favorite podcast platform.
And remember, if you want to be featured on Witches of Workshop, please send 1 to 10 pages and a synopsis to witchesofworkshop@gmail.com.
Until then,
Happy writing.